Hey YouTube, welcome back to another episode of Burnt Training Garage. I'm your host, Chris. And we're going to do another episode of Good, Bad, Poorly Executed. And today's issue was the floor pans in this. Specifically the rear, where I had to cut out a lot of rust. And as you can see by these pictures, there was a lot to work with. So I had to cut out probably 4 inches of metal in the back of the Blazer. Top to bottom, front to back, everything that was part of that floor, including a cross-member support for the body itself that mounts it to the frame. All right, this isn't an aftermarket part I could find. So what do you do? And not to mention, I really wasn't impressed by the floor pans I tried putting in the front. I've never been impressed by any aftermarket rust repair body part ever. As you'll see in some of the later videos when I talk about the Blazer, after I tried doing the passenger side floor pans, I just started doing everything by hand. That turned out so bad. So in any case, to fix the rear on this, I decided I would weld in a piece of 2x6 120 wall, and that would be the new structure of the rear of the Blazer. I tied it in with some angle iron on the sides. Went way overkill with the welds. I could have just done a couple inch long stitches and called it good. But hey, I was, 5 years younger and playing with a welder. So it happens. In either case, after I got that 2x6 welded in there, and I had the original floor pans, cancer-free, sitting on top of that 2x6, I needed a way to smooth out that bridge. I needed something to kind of roll up so it just wasn't a hard 90 degree at the humps, whatever you want to call them, on those floor pans. So the decision behind that was, okay, fine, I'll just weld in a piece of steel rod. Kind of weld around it, smooth it around. You know, I'm not filling it with Bondo or anything. But then that way it would give me a nice smooth transition to that part of the floor pan. Problem that I was really worried about was the amount of heat I was going to be introducing into the floor pan. I really didn't want it to warp dramatically. So what was the solution? Here's the good, bad, or the poorly executed. This is a computer heatsink. If I'm not mistaken, that's not Intel. It might be an AMD. I think this was an AMD computer heatsink. In either case, CPU heatsink. Took the fan and everything off of it because I figured it was going to get melted. So as I went along, I put this on top of each ridge. I ground down the paint to try and get the best contact surface possible to really get this aluminum heatsink to soak in the heat. For you PCR nerds out there like myself, no, I didn't use any type of thermal paste. Trust me, I thought about putting some Arctic Silver on there and seeing what it does, but I decided not to. So in either case, as I went along welding in each piece of rod, I had this sitting on top of each ridge of the floor pan. And the idea was to try and disperse all the heat from the welder at the heatsink and not have it travel beyond and much into the floor pan. I did not want a huge warping mess in the back floor of this. I wanted it to at least, this ain't pretty, but my work should be, I don't know, respectful? I don't know if I'd put it that way. It should be human. Well, how about that? As I went along and I welded with the heatsink in place, and actually it seemed to work pretty good. I pulled out my infrared thermometer. I was getting really impressive readings on each side of the metal. I want to say there was a difference of about anywhere between 30 to 50 degrees in front of the heatsink and a couple inches behind it. So I was really happy with how it turned out. And actually, let me show you now kind of the end result of it. As you've seen a couple of the pictures as I went through and explained it and everything, I can at least now show you what it looks like with the bed liner and everything on there. And we'll see how this turned out. Trust me, I hope this is a good one. As I twirl you around the garage. In any case, you can see, yep, that's a floor. And what I'm going to do, let's just set this on here. Let's see how well this turned out. So there's only a few spots where it actually dips down below the level. Just a few. I think that one might be the worst right there. It's kind of getting there, as you can see. But overall, not bad. And then even the level, yeah, maybe just a little bit of movement clear at the end, which means it's probably pivoting somewhere around here, but that's not bad. So, in either case, CPU heatsink to try and keep sheet metal from not warping. Good, bad, poorly executed. Let me know in the comments. Thumbs up if you like these videos, subscribe, I would really appreciate it. I'd love to keep making these for you. So thanks for watching.